Hello, once again, and welcome to Nigeria and Politics. As usual, when nations get it right politically, it means they are on a very nice development path. And that is why we have politics. Politics to determine very many facets of Nigeria's national life. Are we getting it right? Are there missing gaps? What could be done to ensure that the right thing is done at the right time? We are here in Third Eye TV Africa, and we want to X-ray politics. It looks like the political barometer is hot, is heating up. The destination for now is 2027, and stakeholders are actually doing what they know best, politicking. We felt we should invite a politician, a technocrat, an author who has written very many books, a manager of the oil and gas sector, and of course, the economy. My name is Ben Shaman. You're welcome once again to Third Eye TV. And our guest is Mr. Zachariah Dauke Suleiman. At the point he contested to be a senator in southern Kaduna State. And since then, I had to look at my own crystal ball, cast my fishing net. Fortunately, I got him, and he's here in our studios. I want to welcome you to Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. You disappeared, or you appeared somewhere? Where have you been?
All along, I've been around. Retirement is not a death sentence. It's another stage in your life that you have to effectively manage it. And so in managing it, I've decided to go on the ground, to do those things that I was not able to do while in service. I am now lecturing with one of the universities, Philomont University, to be precise. I'm also doing my PhD program. And mind you, I have my company, Chatkrum Integrated Services Limited. We are into farming, we are into consultancy, and we manage ourselves. That is where I've been.
Okay.
After testing the waters.
Okay. Now, that's exactly where I'm going to now.
Yes.
So politically, so what is happening? It looks like you just tested the ground. Was it too deep? You decided to make a retreat, or what is it like, and how is it like?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a wonderful experience. I got into politics immediately after my service, and as usual, I met two sets of people. I met the political hawks, and I met the professional politicians. The hawks were there to receive me and choke me and get what I have, take my ideas to others and make money. While the professional politicians were there to resist my entry. They saw me as a threat, and so any meeting at all, they would say either I'm not a caucus man or I'm not a stakeholder. The question is, what have you done to the party that you are coming in to take over? Those were the things that I experienced. So the water was not too deep, it was not too shallow, but it was in the middle. So and I learned a lot.
The administrators were issues on ground, administrators of political parties.
Of course. When you are talking about Nigeria and politics, most of our politicians have gotten it wrong. Some years ago, I wrote a book on investment. I was trying to see the most effective way, the most simplest way of defining investment. I got it in the dictionary. And this dictionary simply defines investment as the act of putting money into use with the expectation of profit and value. And most of our politicians go into politics with that mindset. They are there to make money. They are there for investment. But unfortunately, politics is not about investment. It is about service to the people. And if you are going to give service and your people say, no, we like X because of X or money or whatever, you don't get annoyed with them. You quickly package yourself. Take your service to where it will be valued. That was exactly what I did. Today, I'm very excited to impart knowledge on the students that are coming in. I'm also doing a PhD in development management. And you know what that means? I want to go in and open up inclusivity in terms of investment. So that is what I enjoy doing. But our politicians, I call them political investors.
Can you explain that? Political investors?
Yes, a political investor is somebody who go by the definition of investment. He is there to get profit, he is there to get value. And so whatever he's doing, and that's why I see people moving. Most of them are moving because of their investment interest. They move from one party to go to another party that can give them a very better portfolio, where they will be able to have the opportunity to invest so that they can get their money back. So this movement they are seeing has a lot to do with interest. Personal interest is what is leading most of our politicians, not all of them. They go in to where they can get an easy opportunity to display their goods so that people can buy it, so that they can make money. But if you are a politician that is for service, you don't do that. You are a man of principles. You stay and build your party. You stay and make sure that what is observed that is missing in your party is brought in. So you sit down, see how you can be able to invest on people, give them the ideas that will make them grow. At the end of the day, victory definitely will be achieved.
Now, when these politicians move this way, now you're leaving an older party or the one you belong to a new ground, and probably you are a man of influence. Do you feel, how do you think that those who have all the while been in the other party you're moving into would just simply surrender their art, their mastery to you?
That is what most of the people who are moving did not realize. When you are moving from your party to another party, the food that is cooked in that party is being utilized by those who cooked it. How do you get crushed? They have conflict. And you see them moving shamelessly. Though there are a lot of different reasons why some people leave the party. Some people leave the party because their boss decide to leave. Not because they want to move, but because the boss has moved. He has to move. Some people, the party actually created the opportunity for them to move because they would have been hurt by one way or the other. Because of that incident, they use it to move along. Some people don't even know. They just see people moving. And so because I see people moving, this group of people, by one good effect, they also move. But unfortunately, the party they are going in has also followers. And they have been toiling for that party. So how do you expect me to feel? I've been working for this party for these years. And you come in from the top. You want to come and unseat me. A time will come. There is no party that is exempted from this movement. All political parties are affected because there must be grievances, there must be reasons for you to move. But if you are a man of principles, you don't need to move anywhere. You need to sit down, observe the observations that have been made, see how you can bring people together, and see how that party can become very strong. If the party becomes strong, look at the US. We have two major political parties. They are going stronger and stronger. You rule this years, we come back this year and bring a better candidate. The generality of people will accept that candidate. And then he makes his own impact and move. The other party also look at what he's doing and then strategize. That is how politics is supposed to be. Politics is supposed to be dynamic. This party want to do the best, and this party also want to do the best. That is how it's supposed to be. But here in Nigeria, it's not like that. We are emotionally charged. And that is why recently the House of Reps rejected the zoning system, and I applauded them. Why? Because this zoning system is part of the challenges we have in this country.
How?
Because a zone, look at it recently, some political parties fought and came together and fought and removed Jonathan. And they brought somebody that was supposed to be replaced. The North were presented for 8 years. What is the impact of that representation? Now it's got to the South. What is the impact of the Southern president given to the country? So these are the two things we need to weigh. For example, the US. Do you know how Obama came up? Obama came up from nowhere because a simple opportunity was given to him in the Democratic Convention. He came up as soon as the system noticed him. It was the system that pushed him from nowhere, and he became the president. Why can't we have that? Why can't we give opportunity to people who have the potentials, the people who can change? But if you look at our history, most of the people that had the potentials were not allowed the chance to rule this country. Awolowo is one. Obafemi Awolowo, blessed memory, is one. Sule, Maitama Sule is another example. These guys came with ideas, but the system will not allow it. Why? Because of interest. So this zoning system, we take this from there and take this from there, will not help us unless we are flexible, unless we are ready to accept the best. And the best can come from any part of this country.
But some people will say it's a part of taking care of what you call the federal character principle, just like employment here and there. That if you zone it either of the geopolitical zones in Nigeria, there will always be one of the best. So what's your take on that?
The best will always be the best, wherever he comes from. I don't care who becomes the president next time. If he's coming to bring us the best, I will support him.
But some people are saying that if it is zoned nationally, I mean the office of the president, it also follows that in every state, that the zoning formula should take a place too, because every state has 3 zones, so that it rotates. So you are from Southern Kaduna. Are you saying that the zoning shouldn't be a thing of that is enshrined in the Constitution?
The zoning, I still say our zoning has a fault. The zoning system is backed up by the selection process. And the selection process has always been our problem, even before independence. Those who sit down and select, be it in the military or civilian, do it with selfishness in thing. There is nothing wrong with selection. But are you selecting based on capacity? Are you selection based on ability? Are you selection based on the past history of such an individual? But often at times, this clique of people sit down to look at a candidate that will represent their own interests, not the interests of the country. Assuming selection will be made in such a way that, look at the rigorous process that comes off in the American system. It takes them a minimum of 1 year to scrutinize the candidates. And these candidates goes from state to state, exhibit their capability, and at the end of the day, what happens? The best is taken, regardless of which state he comes from, regardless of which area he comes from, regardless of which denomination he is. And they get the best. Why can't we do that in this country? We cannot do it because a lot of things are going wrong.
So you don't believe that zoning can solve any problem?
No. I didn't say so. The zoning, if done properly, can be a solution. But the way and manner we are going on this zoning cannot solve our problems unless we remove self. Once we remove self and do it regardless of whatever it is, we are going to get the bus. Now we are talking about let this thing remain in the south. Let it, whether we enjoy it or not, let it remain in the south. That is the wrong approach. Why can't we open up? People have been positioned. People have prepared to take this position. We know in the political arena, somebody that has prepared himself. He has contested so many times. I don't want to mention a name, but you know that there is a substance in this consistency and the preparation this individual has done. But because of one clash or the other, sentiments are used. And eventually, in the next couple of years, if this person does not become, we will count him among the best that were not used. Just as I've mentioned, the blessed memory of Maitama Sule. And people like Awolowo, they prepared for the leadership of this country. But because of sentiments, they were not allowed. Because of selfishness, they were not allowed. Now, we are here, somebody has positioned himself, he wants to serve this country. If you don't allow him, in the next future, we'll say, oh, how we wish would have used this person. So I think we should be more pragmatic, we should be more proactive in choosing our leaders.
Now, you belong to the People's Democratic Party.
Yes.
And it looks like you are so committed to it. Now, let's talk about party discipline itself. Because when you talk about the discipline, the ability to hold people together, the ability, that capability to hold people together appears to be lacking in virtually all political parties, and that's why people, they say, Japa, you now move to another party. What is really the issue when it comes to managing people?
The political parties are almost the same. The moment a leader emerges in that party, now you see people coming behind to make sure that their own cycle is made up. Once you become a leader, you don't need to still stick to your constituency. You need to open up and look at the best. Look at the person that can perform very well. Often at times, leaders of the party do not do the party good. They impose their own people within the party, which eventually the most popular candidate may be rejected. Such a candidate, if he feels aggrieved, that is where you see this movement over there. But that is not the only thing. The over 80% of those who move, or 85% I can say, move because of personal interest, but they just use the undemocratic process in the party to go ahead. But I tell you, if political parties will be democratically sound, this movement will be curtailed. Discipline is not there. Consequence management is not there. You see somebody in the party, he will come out and do whatever he does. The political will to discipline such a person is not there. And what happens? Others will see and they will do it. The same thing with the Nigerian society. There is no consequence management in this country. You see people disobeying the law and going free. People allegedly collected something, they are not prosecuted, they go so free. So what are you putting as an example? If you are not punished and the next person does it, they'll say, this man was not punished. So there is need for discipline, there is need for the need for consequence management in any system. If there is no consequence management, my brother, I tell you, a lot of things will go wrong.
Now, people also talk about the lack of internal democracy within
parties,
different political parties. Like Lagos State has just done its Congress, talking of the APC. They've done their Congress elections. There are complaints here and there, quite many of them. The president is from there, and of course the Speaker of the State Assembly is there, working stronger and stronger. People are also protesting against him. Now, if you go to other political parties, Labour Party, look at, you have the Nenadi Usman leading her own group. You have Abure leading another. You have Apapa leading another. The same Labour Party. And of course, when you come to your party, PDP, you also see that this same lack of internal democracy. What really is wrong managing? Yet, if we can't manage political parties, how do you manage the nation?
Thank you very much. That's a very, very good question. Truly speaking, I've just mentioned it in a different way. Where there is no discipline, where there is no internal democracy, definitely you see this thing. I was looking at the placards in Lagos. I said, this just, they are expressing that imposition of candidates. Why are they imposing the candidates? Because it is concluded that once you have the ticket, you are already sure of winning. And so the people on top will pick their own instead of allowing a fair playing ground, identifying the best out of the many. They will not do that. That of Lagos State is very, very clear. Yesterday, I was looking at it, I just laughed. I say, when are we going to learn as political parties? The same thing is going to happen. Mark me, it's going to happen. Because majority of people have noticed that going to the APC will guarantee they are winning. Even if they don't win, the probability of telling you to go to court is there. And unfortunately, the judiciary is not helping issues. They bring conflicting judgments left, right, and center, like the label. They say they should go and they should go and settle it within themselves. How do you expect them to, settle among themselves? The judiciary should be above board. There should be nothing that will appear as if they are taking side. If you are going to give a judgment, give a straight judgment so that the system can breathe. The system is being choked. Even in our party, the judgment left, right, and center are not helping issues. So the judiciary has a big role to play.
But don't you think, because of antecedents, it's always said that every party just go home and settle your matters, because every party will always say, no, it's our own in-house matter, it's a home issue, it is within us, we are capable, we have the ability to settle all of this. And that's why some people will go to court to challenge what is done in an opponent's party, only for the court to say, look, you are just an interloper. What concerns you if that other party danced naked and brought a candidate, So don't you think the judiciary is going based on the law that is before it?
Yes, they are going by the law, but most instances, this pronouncement further complicate issues. And that was why I said, let the parties remove selfishness. Let them remove self. If you are a leader of a party, there is need for you to be flexible. There is need for you to open. All our leaders, I call on all our leaders, even in our party, to avoid self. Let the rules be followed. Let whoever that is interested in contesting be given a fair ground. I knew what happened in my own case. I knew a lot of things that were done that were not palatable. But as a party man, as soon as the candidate was declared, I worked for them. All the parties that emerged, I seriously work for them because I'm a party man. And if we don't stay to build our party, who will build it for us? Who will build it for us?
So you work for the PDP and the candidate?
Of course, I worked for them. That is what a party man is supposed to do.
And no regret today?
Yeah, I don't have any regret.
So you are a principled man?
I'm a principled man, and that is why I'm still going to go out.
And you never change party?
I will not. I will not change my
So
party.
how many of like minds are you in PDP?
Well, there are a lot of people out there. But the truth of the matter is that PDP is still a party to beat. Why? Because we have a good structure. The structure that is on ground is capable of solving any problem. And I tell you, in the next couple of years, months to come, you will see what will happen. It will be a good one. Other parties also have if they can utilize and conform and adhere to the constitutional provisions in all the parties, most of these things are the same. Most of these parties came from PDP. Tell me any party that has a structure that is not copying that of PDP. Tell me. There's none. All of them came and put the structure there. So why should somebody like me move over? It's not nice.
Okay.
For the system.
Yes. Now let us look at you are into agriculture.
Yes.
Into business, and your company name is Chatkurum.
Yes.
You know, and so the government has come out with the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development.
Yes.
And you come from an agrarian society.
Yes.
Zamfara is not having it nice. Prinimgwali too never had it nice. Farmers, herders, always clashing. Go to Katsina, come to Kaduna, come to Benue, come to Plateau, and many other parts of the country. How do you see this ministry as a kind of a panacea, a launch path towards having it nice, farmers and herders?
Thank you very much. I tell you, the best thing that has happened to this country is this ministry. And incidentally, the person that is heading that ministry, I happen to know him. Mukhtar Maha Idi is a very astute man. He knows a lot. We worked together where I worked before. If the ministry will be utilized very well, this insecurity as regards herders clash will go. And I believe, knowing who he is, I'm sure he must have been working on a platform or a system that will make sure that these herders and farmers are brought together. All these clashes will be a thing of the past if this ministry would take its place. I saw him doing a lot of initiative. The initiative that he's doing now today is really working. So, but I think the security agencies and the ministry should be able to work together. There should be a synergy between the ministry and the security system so that the farmers and herders that have one clash or the other are brought together, incentives are given so that they can work amicably well. They used to work together the same. I know that I grew up in our family who had Fulanis coming to settle during the dry season. They will fertilize our lands, and as the rains are coming, they will move out and will farm. That symbiotic relationship continued until recently, and I'm sure this ministry will definitely do the right thing, what is expected of them. The minister is a very, very, very articulate person.
Okay. Now, yes, I can see that the United Nations Agency on Humanitarian Affairs,
Yes.
they're launching some fund because they have great fears for part of this year and next year in terms of food security, especially in northeastern part of the country. Now, but must it take an agency, a foreign agency, an international non-governmental, an international governmental agency to actually see the hunger Nigeria is facing in terms of food security?
Yeah, inclusivity is what is making these people to prepare and anticipate from what has just happened with what is going to happen. I want to use this opportunity to commend the law enforcement agents, most especially Chief of Defense Staff. What he is doing right now is bringing dividend. A lot of people don't know. This year there is going to be a bumper harvest because from what we have seen, there is relative peace in our areas. But I'm sure with the NGOs that are coming in, there should be that synergy between the NGOs that are preparing for the bad or for the wars that will happen and the security agencies. That symbiotic movement, that synergy would definitely allay their fears. And I'm sure there is going to be bumper harvest this year. I'm a farmer. I have my farm in the village. I have people who work for me, and I go there to work. And that is making. I have fish. If you want to come and take fish in my farm, I have chicken. If you want to go and take chicken in my farm,
Good.
so I think the government actually is doing well. Most especially security agencies.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that a PDP man is commenting and saying the APC is also doing well. That's a kind of a synergy. We're going on a short break, but when we come back, you've been talking about security agencies and agriculture, for example. Then we've seen that President Tinubu has created what we call the forest guards to ensure that farmers, the herders, also have it nice. We'll come into that just after this break.
We're talking about South and the North. You talk about middle belt. Currently in Nigeria, we don't have middle belt. North Central is what we have.
Okay.
And they are included in the North. If the perception is because Nigeria is standing on a tripod, you have Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, they are the owners of Nigeria. That is a very wrong perception. These are major tribes in Nigeria. Simple.
Yeah.
Nigeria is owned by every single citizen of this country.
If you go to civilized nations, they possibly have, stratified their political parties such that those who play at the national level are there. And at the local level, you have other minor political parties playing there. And it gives sense of belonging to every citizen to be able to contest.
And in fact, once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven.
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay.
This is Third Eye Africa TV, exposing crime, savaging the nation.
Yes, welcome back. Now let us look at the fact that President Tinubu has created what they call forest guards. Theirs is to ensure, that is government's turn is to ensure that we have peace in the forests. The bandits or kidnappers who are hiding there or hibernating there, coming out to cause mayhem, they want to see a way out of this. How do you see this government stand?
Thank you very much. Any initiative that is meant to bring peace in this country, I will support. The guards, we used to have guards. We used to have guards when I was young. The forest, you cannot just go into any forest and do anything without the forest people there. Minister of Forestry used to be there. And if the initiative is to bring peace and cope, I will support it. But how is it going to be implemented? Are they going to be armed? How is the approach? What about security? Our security agencies, are they going to be different from the? Are they going to be separated from the security agencies that we have? So all in all, whatever is going to be done and touches security, I expect a synergy between the security agencies and the forest guards. And mind you, some villages far away, if these guards are not going to be armed, I don't know how they are going to succeed in that. But any initiative at all that the government has in mind that can bring peace to our nation, I will support it.
Okay, now let us come into corruption. Corruption is virtually the bane of this nation. Things are not working fine due to corruption. You know, we once attended the Guild of Editors conference. One of the Ogoni leaders, Letumite, he said, look, journalists should always, when they say billions have been stolen, the local person will not understand because his counting does not reach billions. But if you say this money stolen by one man can construct 3 general hospitals, they will understand. So how big is corruption in Nigeria?
Sincerely speaking, I think corruption is endemic is much more than what we can think. And unfortunately, because we have political investors, people who go into the system with the mindset of going to make money. And unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, the consequence management, the consequence mechanism in this country is not effective, it's not working. And that is why you can see people can even say a snake has swallowed some money. Tractors were bought and then they disappeared. The wind came and blew it. These are the antics of corruption. So long as we continue to allow people to go away with their misdeeds, this country will continue to be in a corrupt state. So we need everybody to come together. The judiciary, the legislatures, the executive, they need to come together and make sure that consequence management is implemented to the letter. Somebody, some years back, pensions, you remember the man that took money from pension? Where is he today? What has happened to him? They said, go. We're going to be in prison for 2 years or whatever, and then go and refund some of this thing. He's still a very wealthy person. Why? Because of corruption. And that is a signal. It shows, it triggers the multiply effect of that. That is why you can see that people can decide to do whatever to get this thing called money. Because at the end of the day, it's one chieftain title or the other. So the government will have to do things differently. Because if we continue to do the way we are doing, corruption will continue to swallow us. If we don't kill corruption, corruption is going to kill this country. And so the antidote is the judiciary. Once they make a pronouncement on somebody, that person must be punished. And once a case is brought, you don't bring a case and leave it to stay for so many years. We need to expeditiously handle these cases so that example can be shown. Once the discipline is there, once the political will is there, I know that corruption will not last in this country. All we are praying for a leader, a honest leader, a leader that will avoid self, a leader that will be nationalistic enough to damn the consequences of whoever that has gone across the law.
Now, on your retirement, even before your retirement, you've been writing books, and you still intend to make one public. So, can we begin to know what you've been writing all about? I mean, you may not necessarily tell us what is about to be launched, but tell us about what you've been writing about.
Yes, when we started this program, I actually told you about investment. I'm so passionate about investment, to the extent that I wrote a book. My first book was and is Investment Success, a Practical Guide to Managing Investment. Having grown up to see a mother that was a trader, because of this thing called Market Day, every Friday you see people coming with their vehicles. Saturday morning, evening, they carry all the things. And I had to challenge my mother. Why do we allow these people to come every Friday and then Saturday they go to away with their goods? You know what she told me? She said, no, they are not taking, they are buying. They bring these things from Kano, Katsina, Daura, and sell it to us. And they use their money to buy these things and take it there. Right from that day. And then I asked her, why are people not participating? She told me that we don't have the money. That night, at the age of 12 or so, I made up my mind. That was when I started my career of being a business. I said, if I grow up, I'll be a businessman. I'll also buy here, take it to them, and bring their things there. And today, I have a farm, I have a warehouse, I read business, first and second degree. I'm also reading my PhD on development finance. And that's why this knowledge is being given out to the students I'm teaching. I'm giving them what I have learned. Secondly, I wrote a book on retirement before I retired. Why? Because I discovered that a lot of people, I came across one of my senior manager at the airport. I couldn't see him. I couldn't recognize him. Because he has changed completely. So I got closer to him.
Change for the better, change
For the
worse.
worse, because he was no longer the person I knew. Why? Because while working, he didn't prepare for that moment. And in Heathrow, a young man just tapped me. Oga Suleiman. And I turned. I saw a staff of mine, a junior staff of mine that retired. He was in Heathrow. Where are you going to? He said, I'm going to what he taught me. This guy had become an agent to many countries, companies. And he was going. The difference between the two is that one prepared and the other one did not prepare. So my book was written based on these experiences, preparing for a happy and comfortable life in retirement. That was the book I wrote, and it has been all over the place. And in one of my interviews with This Week America, the interviewer asked me, just as you've just asked me, you have been writing and writing. Why are you still writing? I told him I'm writing. And I said, I'm going to write on my own country. In the next couple of years, about 5 years ago, I did that interview. I thank God today, God has given me the ability to write, and I've written a book on this country, Transforming Nigeria Pathways to Progress and Prosperity. God's willing, on the 27th of this month, this book is going to be launched or presented to the public here in Abuja. So we don't need to go back. I've mentioned some pieces of what is in that book. I've mentioned some of them. But the book, God's willing, I pray that it will inspire our leaders, it will inspire our young ones to take the destiny of this country into our hands. We can transform. Nigeria can transform. It is a collective responsibility. When you look at the potentials that are here in this country, no country on earth is blessed like Nigeria. We have everything it takes to be the greatest in this country.
So, if we have everything, sorry to cut you short, will the issue be that of the problems taking Nigeria to its own destination correctly? Are the issues that of leadership? Are we in short supply of real leaders? What about followership? Are we saying that Nigerians don't follow their leaders? Or what really is the problem, that we tend to be almost stagnant?
You journalists, you say you are not going to find out what I've written in that book. Wait till 27. On the 27th, this book will be unveiled, and most of the challenges of this country, I've mentioned them. And I've suggested ways we can go about them. And I know that if we can come together, synergize, unite, all these challenges will be a thing of the past. All we need, leadership is still on top. Leadership is influence. We just need a spark. If we can identify the best, it will just be a matter of time. This country will be the greatest.
Okay. So let's leave the content of your book and face some other issues. Maybe you didn't capture. I'm thinking so.
Yes.
The governor of Delta State, for example, he just crossed over from PDP to APC. Former presidential running mate of Atiku Abubakar also left to APC. And the entire cabinet, just like that, followed. We've seen in Zamfara, senators, all of them sitting, and former governors, they just crossed over to the ruling party. I'm sure you didn't capture that in your book. But why is it that people are rushing to the ruling party?
I mentioned something there. I said we have political investors. An investor is looking for where he will put in his money. And his expectation is profit and value to himself. And so these parties, these political jobbers, I call them jobbers because if you are a man of principles, you will not be attracted by anything that can derail you. So by the time the investment is not done, I assure you that these same people will come back to realization. But if you are a political man that is for service, if you are into politics to serve the people, and I'm sure whatever is happening that is good in the other end, why not come back, sit down, and see how, if the opportunity is given to you, you provide the services that can make the people better. So all this moving and moving, though some of them, I think I mentioned here, I said some of them go because their boss is moving on. Some of them go because the party did something to them. Some of them are going because other people are going. And others, they are just bandwagon effect. And so we don't blame them. When they realize their mistakes, I'm definitely sure they will retrace and do the right thing. There is no party that is exempted from these movements. Every party, including the ruling party, there are some people that are leaving the party because of one of these reasons I mentioned.
Now, so what do you think of an officer, a lawmaker, a governor who has been elected? He's there enjoying the dividends of those elections given to him, that mandate given to him by the electorate. Now you go there and simply abandon them, go to a new party. Now some people are calling for an amendment into the law that if you must resign, if you must move to another party to cross over, carpet crossing, you resign first from that office so that INEC will conduct fresh elections so that you also test your popularity. Did your people move with you, or you just felt it's a safe kind of a solo movement without the troops?
Well, that is where I'm happy about their movements. We have the laws. It's stated clearly. Once you move and your party is not in crisis, you lose the place. But because of what they see, because the judiciary will not give a stink, because the judiciary will not do anything, what do? Go to court. If you go to court, the field is open. And so that is why I'm not surprised that they are going. But unfortunately, the people that will decide come 2027 are the people on ground. And it all depends on what we say to people who are going. It depends on what we say to the people who are waiting to vote. It depends on what and the manner in which we select our leaders. If the selection process is open, not restricted to anybody, the great people that I want to lead this country are given the opportunity. I tell you, come 2027, most people that will come. And let me tell you, the election of 2027 is not going to be based on political parties. It's going to be based on capacity. It's going to be based on ability to convince the people to vote for you. So 2027 is going to be an interesting election period. And I believe that time is getting closer that this country will get it right come 2027. That is what I think and I believe is going to happen. And that is why it's good with what I have brought out, God's willing, on the 27th. This book is going to inspire a lot of people. And that is why I am saying that whoever moves at his peril, because right now, a lot of conflicts are going on the ground. These people that are moving, it's not that easy. They will have to come back and tell the people that voted for them, yes, you voted for me last time and I move on. Please follow me. If they will be able, we will see. If they will not be able, we will see.
Okay. While waiting, Nigerians have also realized that, like the Senate, take the case of the Senate, Nigerian Senate, you see that some people were senators, they became governors, and thereafter come back to be senators. Or you were a governor, you came to be a minister, then went to be a senator again. You just see that it's a kind of a circle or recycling, so to speak. Is it the experience, or now we have not too young to rule? Why is it that would the majority of voters being the young, they appear not to be engaging enough, and that's why you have this kind of circle. What really is your thought about it?
You know, power can be intoxicating. Most of these people have spent the greater part of their lives in government, and it's getting very difficult for them to imagine they will go and stay like that. And that is why you see a governor, having been a governor, he decides to go to the Senate, and the other way around, or be a minister. I tell you, with what is going to happen, if we are able to select the best candidate for the presidential election come 2027, all these things will be a thing of the past. And I pray that all political parties will continue to do to be democratically oriented. The democratic principles in their constitutions, if they adhere to, are removed. Selfishness is one of the things that will allow you. You've been a governor, you still continue. And that is why I conclude that most of them, not all of them, most of them are political investors, because they would not like to see their investment fall. And I tell you, when you invest, two things happen. You either fail or lose. When you fail, you need to effectively manage that failure so that it can go back to success. And the same thing, success, you know, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So you need to also effectively manage that success so that you can continue to succeed. And I tell you, most of them, since they are investors, they are still looking for avenues to put their investment into use, regardless of who the or is God. And their followers, so long as you have already, you know, at the process of the election, most of them were paid. Most of these electors were paid. And so these people think that since I've already paid these guys, let me move on. When the time comes, I'm coming back to pay them so that they can move on with me. So, but I tell you, come 2027, it's not going to be the same ball game. It's going to be based on capacity, based on ability, and based on the history of our people. And I'm happy that the House of Reps have decided to reject the zoning system. And I pray that the Senate too will reject it so that we have a free flowing playing ground. Let us select, board. Yes, let's select those. Let us not regret like we did with Maitama Sule or Awolowo at the Zik. Let's select those who are ready, who have prepared for years to be leaders of this country. They should give them the chance. Let us try one of them and see what will happen come 2027.
Now, some people are still worried too when it comes to primaries in every political party. Some will say there were compromise. There was a kind of a compromise here and there. Imposition, that same old thing we were talking about, lack of internal democracy. So we have the direct and indirect primaries that even allow just the electorate to go vote. The candidates don't even get to vote. So which one is better for you, indirect or direct primaries, and why?
Well, a primary is a primary, whether indirect or direct. But the most important thing is that they do it according to the rules. Our selection process has been a thorn in our flesh. Whether I call it selection because that is where the primaries comes in. Most political parties will look at the system and get somebody that will represent their interests, whether he's capable or not. If that is removed and the playing ground is made flat, whether it's direct primaries or indirect primaries, so long as the rules will be made plain, so long as we follow the rules, each of them has its own advantage and disadvantages. But if everything is done well, there will be no need for you to go to court. If you are not satisfied with the process and you know that somebody who is not even like you or somebody who the people needs is given the opportunity, definitely you go and challenge it. Look at India. You will never see an Indian going to court to go and report and say he's not, because the system is done in such a way that biases are removed. And they are more than the biggest democracy on earth. They have not recorded any of those things. So I think the basic principles that guide direct primaries and indirect primaries, once they adhere to, there have been. Look at Lagos. Look at local government Lagos. Look at what they did. People are not happy. And tell me, how do you expect them to vote? But unfortunately, people believe that whether you win or not, you can go to court. You go to court, the court can still give it to whoever they want to give it to. That is not a good omen to us.
So it appears there's a loss on the hope of judicial
Trust.
at the last.
The trust. People are already losing trust in the institutions that are supposed to protect them. They are losing hope. The institutions that are supposed to protect them are not performing to their expectation. And what you see is what you are seeing now. The result is what you are seeing now. A lot of people are not happy with the system, but if you have the right leader, if you have the right person, I tell you, within a very short period, you'll be able to excel as a country.
Then one last question.
Okay.
Now, cast your mind for the future, that future 2027. What do you expect of INEC when it comes to an ideal, acceptable election?
Thank you very much. One of the challenges we have as a country is INEC. It's INEC. By now, with what happened in 2023, one would have expected that there would have been a total overhaul of the system. INEC came a few days ago with 142 amendments to the Electoral Act. How many weeks are they going to use that? Is that actually what INEC want? Do they want the amendment? Why can't you arrange this amendment as soon as the election is finished? Bring them to the bar. These 142 amendments were supposed to have been submitted a year ago, just after the swearing in. You bring these things for them. Now you have less than how many months? You bring 142 amendments to the electoral. Who are they deceiving? Do they need change? Did they actually want change? If they want change, they would have brought it long time ago. You are bringing 142 amendments today. How many days? So they should be amending everyone every day before they this thing, and then implement it. How? I don't think we should ask INEC whether they really mean it or not. I think something is fishy there. So INEC should be able to explain to the people 142 amendments are not just 42. 142. And look at the timing. The timing is basically wrong. If they really wanted this thing to be amended, they would have given it long time ago, or bits by bits. What stopped them from bringing 20? The first week the president is sworn in, or the first 6 months, they would have been giving it by bits so that they can amend them all. They are bringing 142 amendments. I think they should go and tell the people they want to tell. They've already submitted, and I doubt anything will come out of it.
So do you think INEC can conduct all elections, presidential to state assembly, gubernatorial, national assembly, in one day? Some will say to save cost. In fact, a member of your party, Ikenga Ugochinyere, is leading that, and a bill is before the House of Representatives. Do you think INEC can do it, all elections?
Thank God. Why not? If the will is there. If the willpower is there, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. How many? Is it not giving you 10 or how many positions? You go and tick and go. But the structure that will make people believe that this thing will work will have to be put in place. What are the requirements? What do we need in order to present this thing on one day? With proper planning, with proper organization, there's nothing impossible. Doing this election in one day, it's possible, if the willpower is there.
Well, we've been talking about the willpower, and we've been talking with a politician, an investor, an author, a writer, of course, a lecturer, and above all, the man in charge of humanity in his own right. We've been talking with Mr. We call him Zax, but it's Zachariah Dauke Suleiman. I want to thank you for coming to this studio.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much for having me.
And this is Third Eye Africa TV. It is here that we have to end this edition of Nigeria and Politics. Follow us, like us, ask questions, and we'll answer them. Thank you very much. My name is Ben Adam Shaman.